I want to see the first video, how it was.
You can see it on YouTube.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Want the fruit punch or do you want this one?
Let's get mine. Started?
Yeah, oh, not technically. You ready? As soon as I do my intro, we're gonna get started.
Is it editable?
I'll edit it.
You can't edit it?
Yeah, that's what I do.
You know, when somebody sends you like a video, you can't edit it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, can I open this?
Yeah, you can open it. They're gonna hold my hand so we can pray.
Really?
But I thought that's what you're gonna do, but you're not gonna do it. You're not a mom. You don't care about that
Mom.
much.
Come on, man.
No, I'm just joking. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another Meal and a Conversation. It's episode 4, I believe. And today I have my big brother, John Biganito. The first and most important, you can start eating. Oh, we'll be having Chipotle today because he is selfish and his beautiful African wife cooked a delicious meal, but he wanted to have Chipotle. Anyways, okay, on a serious note, there's 3 main things that I would like to discuss with you today, right?
All right.
Good. I had Amy on the podcast about 2 years ago, right?
Amy, my sister? Wait,
Of course, yes.
well, there's so many Amy's, bro. Come
Yeah,
on.
but yes, Amy, our sister,
Mm-hmm.
and she told me her story and her life in the camp. Really, the main story though, probably because you and I can stay here for like 5 hours if we really want to discuss your entire camp story, right? Your death camp story. But I kind of want to get your perspective from her scenario, right? And so, one, we need to get context clue of exactly what's happening around this time. Where Amy, you're a young man who is in such a I wouldn't even say the worst situation you could ever be in, right? You have to choose either your life or having your sister again taken advantage of by a soldier and then taken to go live with them, right? That is no feat for any young man. You're what, probably about 15 around this time? I don't know how old you were. How old were you?
Oh, wow. I was probably like 13 and a half.
13 and a half? You got something on your face.
Yeah.
You're on the camera, so I want to make sure you look good all the time, my boy.
Well, thank you, man.
Okay, you're 13 around this time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now here's where the context is going to come through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're a 13-year-old boy who his father just got killed, and now you're taking all this responsibility on yourself. What does that look like for a 13-year-old boy? Your people are getting killed. You just have gone captured, and now you're in a death camp where you basically are going day to day, not sure whether you're going to be alive the next day. And then now you have about, how many siblings were there at the time? 5? B, Moses, Zay, me, Team, and then the twins hadn't been born yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 5 siblings that you're technically the father of at this point.
What do you mean 5?
What do you mean? Oh, Amy's 6.
Right.
Plus you is 7.
All right.
Okay, so 6. My bad. I miscounted. I forgot one of the siblings. Just
So the only addition was, Dylan, Andre,
And then Luke.
and Nelly.
Well, Luke was also Luke.
Well, Luke was born in there.
Yeah, so would G.
In the Cameroon.
Cameroon? Oh,
Yeah.
so this was after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say, so you have 6 people that you're now a 13-year-old, now you have to take the father role, right?
Yeah.
You have to take that responsibility.
It was more than that, including my mom.
Including, yeah, well, it's like a father role, right? So now you're in a sense, I guess you wouldn't want to say husband, but a son father, right? Like
That's right.
that's the role that you're playing.
Yeah.
What is that? So, okay, here's another thing that's always intriguing to me. The person that you are today is not who John was in the camp, right? What kind of so how does
How can you find that? I mean, you're the
Oh,
only
okay.
one who can tell the difference.
well, from the stories that I hear, you're a bad mother sucker back
No,
in the camp,
damn.
right?
You gotta use it.
What do you? It's my podcast. I'm
Yeah,
allowed to
yeah. Okay.
But like now you're in survival mode, right? You had to be able to protect not only your family but yourself as well too. And so now you have to. It's survival of the fittest, I guess you would call it, if we're looking at it from that. So you have to become basically a different animal. It sounds so cliche, but it is true. Because now you're soft. You have 4 daughters. You're a soft guy. You're not that guy that you were in the camp anymore. But
You
again,
think I'm
it's different.
soft right now?
What? First and foremost, the John Dad, no one was a fan of because you would spank us all the time. But
Oh.
now we're slowly starting to take you in as a brother. But okay, so really, I was trying to set the context of what we were going to be talking about on this podcast.
Right.
So for anyone's going to listen to, they kind of already had. I don't want them to sit through a podcast that they're not going to enjoy. But okay, so take us through. Again, the moment that you know that Dad has passed. What is that? What is that? How does that? What's that shift in your head at 13 years old? What does that look like?
Well, really, it was not much to think of at that time, because when I found out that my dad was, passed at that time, we didn't know if my mom was pregnant at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So really, the only thing that was going through your mind, are we going to survive?
Mm-hmm.
And because that's, the situation that we were in, a lot of people got killed. And
I'm
we
gonna need
knew,
you to talk louder, my God, and more clear.
I think because we knew that God had brought himself, turned himself in, and we knew, there's no way they're gonna survive.
Okay, so can we? And you might be mad at me about this,
Okay.
but I've never understood that aspect from Dad for turning himself in. Yes, I understand that he didn't want to live while his kids were getting killed or whatever. But what benefit does that do for us if we do? Let's say if we do survive. That to me, I guess I'll never know what Dad was thinking when he did that, right?
What?
But for a young kid who doesn't technically get raised with a father, and we do survive, right? So now again, I don't really talk about this very much because you guys hardly ever talk about Dad, right? You guys
It's because you guys don't want to ask. Remember when we do ask you guys,
it's not no.
last time I asked you a question saying like, do you guys ever like be curious?
Wait,
have
what?
curiosity.
Of Dad? Of
Either
course
on the
we do.
dad or how we went through. Because every time when we'll tell the stories and you guys don't know none of it.
Yes, we don't.
No, right.
Okay, so
and to me, that's a question I always ask y'all.
mm-hmm.
Aren't y'all like curious, like where we came from?
Well, that's
what
why
we've been through.
right?
Instead of like, getting like one story here, kind of like in a chunk. Can you guys like organize a day that we sit down and we tell you guys since the beginning how things started and to the end,
Mm-hmm.
and so you guys can ask any question because when you on a camera, it's a different vibe. You know what I mean?
Okay, but
But
the
anyway.
the only time I've been able to get any of you guys to actually open up fully about anything that happened in the camp is on this camera.
Why?
You guys have to tell me. Amy never really shared her story until I got her on the podcast. Mose never shared about his life and his suicidal thoughts until I got him on the podcast. Him or Zay, they never shared about that. Because these are traumatic experiences, right? So for a young kid, I don't want to have you guys to. But anyway, we're moving past. But the question about, so
Dad?
from your perspective, about Dad.
As a father, I can't really like be in my dad's shoes and understand what was going through his mind, even though that's not true. I cannot be in his thoughts and be able to do the same thing that he did.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine like your whole family as a man and like he's gone and they're gonna get killed, So
But if I understand correctly, we had a higher chance of surviving than he did because they were going around. Men were getting killed way before anybody else.
At that time, really the surviving mode was not like there. We did not think that we're gonna survive.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a possibility. We can't say that it was not a window, but it was a slim window.
Right.
Because women wouldn't get killed, kids wouldn't get killed. Like men would get killed, of course. You know what I'm saying? So, and we hear a lot of stories. Like people that would tell. They would, at least maybe he heard different news telling him like, hey, they're taking all the families to Rwanda, and therefore he said, you know what? Why can't I just go? If I survive, I survive. If my family survive, I go with them. I think he turned himself in because of that. One, I literally like. I can't. I mean, what kind of life would I leave if I know like all my family is dead, like 6 kids and my wife? Like, to me, I can't. I mean, it's gonna torment it.
I hear you 100%.
Right.
That would not be a life to live, right?
Right.
But now imagine the position that he's putting mom in. Let's say, for the slightest chance, by the grace of God, we were able to survive, which thank God we were able to. Now you have a woman in an African culture who doesn't really, because men get all the respect in our culture, right?
Well, as a husband and wife, you know
what?
you know each other, like you know what I mean. My mama was a very hardworking woman.
No, yeah,
to survive. Sure. I mean, like when we got to Kasai, it was a surviving mode too. You guys don't know that, but my mom worked hard and we survived. Life was great after that. You know what I mean? So I don't think Dad was thinking about, was trying to be selfish. Nobody says, okay, let me go die. I don't think anybody say, okay, let me go die. I think he came to thinking, they're taking people, to Rwanda, like, kind of evacuating people, per se, I think he came along, so, and then it was a different decision. I don't think he said, we do kind of like perceive that's how he was thinking, but really it was the news, because remember, even Daniel says it's the same thing, like, they say, they're taking you guys to Rwanda, things to that nature, and the people, they were coming out. Those who were in a hiding place, they were coming out. So apparently, since my dad had come out, we left him in the house in a hidden place, and eventually, when he came out and realized what's going on, maybe neighbors telling them they're taken to Rwanda. It's always false news here and there. Somebody will say something, what to believe, what not to believe. So I think that he was in a bad position.
Right.
If he had really like somebody who knew what's going on, saying, "Hey, listen, please don't go. Stay in a hiding place. Your family gonna survive."
Yeah, but no one really
exactly. It's always somebody on the side who can strengthen you.
Right.
How many times that we do make a decision if we had somebody to hear from the second hand, we could have made better decision.
Yeah.
So many times we fall in that kind of category or in position.
Right.
To make a wrong decision, where if you had somebody, how many times you do something and somebody like, dude, you could have done this. You'd be like, oh man, I didn't think about that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's why they say two are better than one. Because it's always good to have a second opinion, or at least another,
a helping hand.
A help hand, to guide you, Because if you're going through something, literally, like your brain is not processing, like when you are easy, like when you're in a better position. When you're not stressed, you're not thinking about anything, you know what I mean? So if you have that person who's not in the same level of thinking or processing or depression or whatever you're going through, they're going to give you a better advice than what you were thinking.
Right.
They can better redirect you. So Dad at that time, the whole country's in the chaos, and we were targeted. And he just came from the hiding place and surviving him to get caught when we were there. So now, whatever was going through his mind, man, it can be anything. I can't blame Dad for doing what he did. And also, man, we come from Christian life. Once your time is a time. Literally, it's that simple. We can't speculate it, around my dad's decision of coming forth or turning himself in. But at the end of the day, it was his time, and I don't believe any humankind would say, you know, I'm coming, kill me, or turn himself in to get killed. I don't think so. I don't know how crazy that would be, you know.
Right.
You know, even though your family is in line, or unless you have a concrete, you know, information that, you know, your family's going to get killed, you be like, you know what, might as well.
Yeah, but that's more so what it seemed like happened though. He was like, okay, well, it seems like my family's gonna die, and I don't want to be alone.
That's why we speculate.
Well, yeah. So
at least the thing.
But like, okay, so but like, think about it from a young kid's perspective. For me, right? Like growing up, never having a father, really, right? You were the closest thing to a father we had, and then Brother Tony, and then came, and things of that nature. So by the grace of God, that's that as well too. But it's almost like whenever I think, I don't really even. And it's more so from a selfish perspective, right? I've had time to think about it and kind of go through it. So like, I wish I would have gone to know this guy, right?
Right.
Like we have that one picture of dad and mom, and I think he was carrying me, and then I don't know who else was in the picture, but it wasn't until high school that I finally saw that picture, right? At least to be able to comprehend that that's dad. So imagine for a young kid like me, growing up all his life, not even knowing what his father looks like, right?
Yeah.
And hearing that this guy risked his life for me, and things, or whatever, not even for me, right? But he ended up getting killed. And then, so I began to put my own pieces together, like how selfish of dad to put himself in that situation for me not to ever get to know him, right? And again, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't, like you're saying, all this is speculations, because we hopefully one day we get to see him in heaven and ask him these. Well, I don't think we're even gonna care about anything, but we're being the God's presence. But to be able to just say, like, man, like, what were you thinking, man? I needed you all these years, man. Growing up, I didn't know what a father I didn't know what a real man looked like, man. Trying to, because let's be realistic as well too. As much of a father figure you were, we individually raised ourselves because you had to survive yourself, because we're in a new country. You didn't even know the language. We all really have, again, other than some people that came in our lives, grateful for that. But for the most part, man, a lot of us grew up on our own. We had to, because we couldn't. Mom is working like 10,000 jobs trying to provide for us, right? So she can't be the nurturer that's supposed to be there. We don't really have a father, because you're in, 17 at this time now when it comes to the States, or 18 or whatever, 16. And then now you're having to deal with your own issues, right? So you have things that you have to deal with.
There's no issue. You were my issue.
We were your issues, but still, like, realistically, man. So again, we're going to get sidetracked, but so me trying to imagine, set that 13 in that camp, man, I would have died. Like, what? Again, because I don't know.
But I mean,
so again, like, to get back to the true question, well, you find out dad dies, man. We're taken. What does John begin the process? What does that look like?
So the prison that we were in. So we heard, you know, well, there were a lot. Okay, there was another kind of like a building, like under where we would, you know, like the prison, the actual prison. There was another house, like just kind of low to where we were. I mean, the place that we were in the prison. So they were killing some people, because some people that they were telling, like, that's your parents, they just want to get to your wound, like, like your head, telling you everything possible to make you like feel like nothing, you know what I mean? And also like scold you in that kind of way, like make you feel hated, like you the worst person. Like, I mean, imagine telling you they just kill your dad, like right there in that house. That's bad feelings ever, But like what we heard, like they were killed, no actual person came and tell us, like, that, like they knew our father and they got killed, but only one person came let on. I mean, like it was speculation, like, oh, your husband, killed, your fathers were killed, Of course, we got the news from our parents, that they got killed. So, I mean, it was hard, but at the same time, we were already kind of like numb to it,
Okay, so Mark, so for that speculation, did for a second John say, man, there's still a chance that Dad actually survived and actually didn't get killed? Or did you have to convince yourself that he died to be able to move forward? What does that look like?
I think the way my mom, there was this guy, who knew another lady in prison.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the one who broke the news. That don't call me 100%. And then at least he was the closest person, to the news. Like at least we can believe that this guy is a legit to tell us that he got killed. There's a legit source that they got killed. But man, I mean, it was kind of harsh, like news. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you start thinking all like, of course, the surviving mode, man. We didn't see the chance to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So
what are you trying to survive for?
Not only that. I mean, if we can't survive, we survive. I mean, the dad passed. I mean, but if we can survive, that would have been a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't. At least to me, I didn't have a room to kind of project like the next day. Because the situation that we're in, man, like it was horrible situation. Like we didn't know that we're gonna survive.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like literally, So it was just like, wow. It didn't. Okay, at least to me, it did not hit me so hard. The only time that it really kind of like hit me so hard, it's when we start like seeing kind of like the light at the end, like like you see almost like the end of the tunnel, like it's a possibility. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when the real. I mean, how can I say, man? Like that's when it really kind of like hit so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Everything started becoming real. Like, shit, man, my dad. Now you have a time to think about your dad.
Right.
But all that time, he was just like, he gonna get killed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's either you survive tonight and tomorrow is just like, man, it's a long day like that. You know how time runs so fast, so quick right now. But like, man, it's already like 8. You know what I mean? There, like
time seems
it's
like
kind of seemed like forever, man.
10 years.
I'm telling you, man.
10 years.
That 1 year in 4 months, man. Like it was like, God, man. It was the longest. I mean, like right now, like we go through a year like nothing. You know what I mean? It's just like, man, we in September right now. It's just like, damn. But really, I didn't think much. To your question, like, I really did not think much of it. I was so sad, but I did not cry. That I will tell you for sure. I did not cry. You see what I'm saying?
Is it because you had to be strong for everybody else?
Not because I was strong for everybody else, but how you, okay, you get killed. I know that I'm gonna get killed tomorrow. I mean, how much time do you have like a real like to cry? It hits you to a certain degree, but because again to me it was just like you still have that room of saying like my dad survived.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know like even like today sometimes I dream like my dad survived?
Oh, I do a lot of times.
Yeah, I do. I do. It is crazy, right? There's sometimes like I have certain dreams like
I'm like I see him walking down.
Yeah. I'm like, for real, like, and this is true. Like, there's sometimes I get those kind of dreams, and I'm like, but the only thing that kind of like bring me back is like the person who was with when my dad got killed was just like he's here, he survived.
Yeah.
That's the only kind of like like man, there's no chance. This guy saw him get killed. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So really, I remember, to be quite honest, like I remember when we first arrived here, it was after a couple of days we arrived, if not a week. Somehow somebody sent mom a picture for my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were like in the living room, my mom gathered us, she said, hey, here's your father's pictures. That's when it hit me so hard. We all cried, like the whole family member cried.
Right.
Like literally it was just like, it's like we just know that my dad just died that day.
Mm-hmm.
That's how deep it was, But when when we got into prison and the news was, we were told that, my dad, passed, man, it was just like, it was a bad feeling, but it's just like, it's a bad feeling, but the only thing that made kind of like you to be strong, it's like, you're gonna die tomorrow.
The thing that gives you strength.
Right. I mean, like, why should I worry about it today? Okay, cry about my dad right now. When I'm for real. It was almost like surreal. Like it was crazy, man. It was a bad feeling, but I'll tell you that it was not happy news. Because we knew that my dad could have survived, but when he turned himself, I mean,
there was no
the chances were slim, man. So really, it was so hard because there was no survival, especially like it was like the very beginning when everything was so hard, man. It was so hard. If it was like towards like the end of our prison time, before we got moved to a different place, at least you probably have like maybe 50 chances that my dad survived,
Mm-hmm.
But it was very slim, bro, like slim. And there's no way that we could have survived too. It was during the war, the whole country was in chaos, like it was crazy.
Okay.
So
John is 13 years old right now.
Right.
So now let's again. I really wish we could be able to sit here and just tell your entire story, but unfortunately we don't have that kind of time.
No, that's good, man.
No, I genuinely want to understand. It's interesting, actually. Side note, irrelevant to this, but whenever I started a podcast, like this podcast, there was a purpose behind it, right? I felt like God wanted me to do something. Somehow, y'all niggas keep coming back to my podcast. It's almost like this partial of this podcast, man, is for you guys to be able to share these stories, man. Not even for the world, really. More so for me, my future kids, man, so they can be able to know their. I guess technically it would be an uncle. Would you be their uncle? Yeah, because I'm Uncle Seth to all. You'll also be an uncle to my. You'll be a very old.
You're very crazy.
No, but for them to be able to hear these stories, man, I genuinely think. Look, I've tried multiple times to get my mother too, on here to share her full thing because I see the value in this, man, and this podcast really isn't for views. If I was doing it for views, my Instagram would be dealt with a certain way, make sure I get all the right, whatever you want to call it. But man, somehow you guys, I think really is more so for you guys, because I think it gives you guys that outlet. No, eat your food, or you're not hungry anymore.
No, I'm gonna eat.
I think it's more so for you guys' outlet, right?
I want my wife's food.
Because mom has been to the White House, she's gotten awards here and there and shared her story, man. But man, there's you guys, like the young people. I heard I was just a headache in the camp, so I literally was useless to you guys. I was just
you were very, very useless. I mean,
don't say it like that, man.
Well, I'm telling you. I mean, what would you do? You were so young. You were very like. Actually, man, I do remember you, man. You were like, oh man, you were so bad.
You mean I was so
like,
bad?
You were so skinny. Like,
I was so skinny.
Yeah. So
now
skinny.
I'm big body. Now don't flow with me.
Wow, we still skinny, man. As much as you worked at, you're still skinny. Man, you got a long way to go.
No, wait. How was it like you camp? That's
malnutrition. Like I mean, like you, almost like what do they call it? Like a jaundice. So like your belly was like this, and then you looked more like, you know how grandpa, like a grandpa who passed, like
Mhm.
you look like him though.
Oh, did I?
You know, your age at that
Mhm.
time, man. Yeah, even like almost like your body type shape, the way you were like as a kid.
At 3 years old, I had
Yeah,
a grandpa's body type.
Yeah, you were kind of like a tall in a sense.
Uh-huh.
And the way like your light skin, the way
Mhm.
your face looked, you know what? No facial hair, of course.
No,
You know, you were like more grandpa, man.
What was that?
Yeah, when I saw grandpa, man, I said, man, yeah, you really. That's why they gave you the name.
That's why they
Yeah,
gave me
the
grandpa's name.
Yeah. But to your credit, man, your podcast, man. I mean, like, it's good. You will never know. Like time is short, is short, and
Right.
it's hard to tell the story to your kids. Like, you know, I have my brother, such a brother, you know, John or Moses, who. But it's easy to tell them, oh, look
at this video.
Yeah, look at this video.
Yeah.
Because I wanted one, like, literally, like I told my grandpa, like, I want to interview, like, my grandpa. Because he has so powerful, you know, like, story, too. Like, you know, but, man, I procrastinate a lot.
Yeah.
I never got a chance to, you know, that's the only thing. I mean, when he passed, I mean, his time. But that really hit me hard. It's just like, that's why I'm asking you, like, to do one for my grandma.
Yeah, no, we definitely gotta do it.
So anyway, go ahead, man.
But okay, so yeah, that was my fault. I kind of sidetracked.
It's all right.
Okay, so John, 13 years old.
Yeah.
There's a few stories that I'd like to hit on. Okay, but the way we used to sleep always intrigued me, or at least the way you guys used to sleep. I was young, so I got lucky, right? So I was always in the middle. But I think that story is always so intriguing, and so it's funny now. Back then, y'all were very scared for your life. Okay, so explain to the people how you guys a little bit about the prison that we were in, what it looked like, what it entailed, and then the reasoning behind you guys' sleeping pattern and why you guys always fought for the middle instead of the edge, right? And it's not like it wasn't beds, it was concrete floor or with the cardboards underneath, so it wasn't nothing special, but it was special once you guys were able to get into the inside instead of the outside. So please share with the people a little bit about the environment, what that kind of looked like. And then the sleeping pattern for you guys.
So I mean, like, I'm sorry to say, like, sometimes, like, when you the prison sometimes it can be
a nice prison,
a nicer place,
mm-hmm.
because, you know, at least it's all kind of like, it's like a room has
right.
windows, and when it rains, you're not gonna get wet, you know, things of that nature.
And all that, yeah.
There's a toilet and maybe some, but the place they put us is just almost like, man, like, it was like a huge room. Like, it used to be a house. Almost like, you know, like a bureau, like offices, maybe. Mm-hmm. The office is not like here they have like a section and divide, right. You know, different cardboard, they divide and things like that. It was just like one room.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big, huge room that was abandoned. Like, you know, they no longer function. Like, it used to be like, you know, a place for service. Because mm-hmm. This is in the middle of the camp, like military camp. So that room was useless. So they just threw us there. There was no window. They had a huge. You see, like this door, this window. Mm-hmm. That's how the size of this window, like double windows. Like, but right. There's no window.
There's no window.
It was just like a metals.
Yeah.
But there's no glass. There's nothing. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like it had four exit, and those exit. There's no door.
There's no nothing.
It was just nothing. It was just like no door there, and on the wall. So each corner of the house mm-hmm. had an exit, has a door. Right. We would just like mingle like in the middle. So at first you're talking about cardboard. We wish we had a cardboard when we got there. Right. But it was just like a concrete, like those kind of like a gravel, like not even like really like nice concrete, like, you know, like you see how the pavement, mm-hmm. It's kind of like smooth. Right. It was kind of like really like gravel, like.
Okay, so Michael, so our family was doing really well for a while, right? Like, our family was very successful. Mom and Dad built a business where it was successful.
Yeah.
Okay, so nice. you guys were sleeping good.
Oh my God!
You guys were sleeping good, right?
We had a good home too.
Man, man, we don't get to talk about that enough.
Man, I mean, like the house that we were in, man.
Were you miss it?
You know, it's so funny. Like, life is so good now. Like, you know. you came from like two, like four, like 3 rooms at home, like and now you're like in a six
bedroom.
It's almost like a mansion.
This was back home.
Back home, man. It was really good.
Okay, so but that's important. Okay,
with the tiles and toilets.
Oh, we were living a dream back then. Our family was.
And all of a sudden, you got taken away.
And then, which is so interesting, man.
Crazy,
and
man.
I think that's partially why I'm truly grateful for every moment that I have, because I've had that. Again, I was still young at the time, man. But even listening to you guys describe it, in a moment of true success, fact, the business doing good. We had plenty of money to the point where you guys would steal from mom and dad, but we won't talk about that.
Man, come on, why you gotta put me on the spot? We were kids, man. I mean, imagine
but mom and dad had so much, but they had so much money, so it's not like
not because they had even like so much money, but it's just like
the way they placed it.
No. I mean, they go do business, they pay them back, so you got to count the money.
Right.
It's not like they have those kind of machine here. You go to the bank to pull the money to count it. Oh, this is, no, they have at the time, like, Congolese money, like, they were like huge, man. Like, I mean, they even beg us to go count the money.
Mom did?
Yeah, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Like, and you hated it. Like, we hated so much, like, because, I mean, it was forever, man.
Took forever to count it?
Yeah, they were just like pull, like, they're like money like this high and like from like this space right here. You got to take all the rubber bands and then count it out. And then they had a different way to count it. So that way, once you put the rubber band there, they know this is money. So I mean, a temptation, man. It's just... It's not like one out, man.
The reason I wanted to, man. I didn't want to say that part of the bracket.
Well, I mean, you put me on the spot, man.
No, I know. But I'm thinking
I was a kid, man. Shoot, man.
No, but okay.
And I repent to my mom. I told mom.
But you used to steal from her?
To do this, and
you guys are a bunch of thieves.
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't turn out like you guys. No, listen.
We didn't do for that long.
Oh yeah, sure. No, but like, listen. So you go from that to now sleeping on that floor, man. What does that first night sleeping on that thing look like?
Man, what are you talking about? Feel like, man.
I don't know, because I was still young, so I'm pretty sure it was gross and disgusting. But for you, someone who felt it and can compare and contrast, I'm curious to know, what does that first night sleeping? Do you even sleep the first night?
How you gonna sleep? You can't sleep because of the situation you're in. They're gonna come kill you. It's just like they do come
in the middle
trying to kill. They took some people and went and killed them. You were next in line,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a scary moment. Like, I mean, really, there's certain things like that you were in, but you didn't have a time to think about it.
Right.
It's what's taking over your mind. Like, are you afraid of dying in a couple hours?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Are they coming right now? I mean, you imagine, what's racing your thoughts, like your thought process. How far are we to be done? You know what I mean? It's just like, of course you this is the list that you can't sleep there on the concrete. But can you survive though? So you find that the surviving mode is outweigh the place you're sleeping. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it came a period of a time where they had a parade. I think that the military got new uniform.
Mm-hmm.
So all those cardboard, they were throwing away. So we asked for them.
Mm-hmm.
They were one of the military said, "Yeah, you guys can't have her." He was so generous. He like, man, this is like
a cardboard. You're generous.
Bro, you felt like you're sleeping on the mattress. That's how. Then you start thinking about where you were sleeping.
Right.
Because it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But literally, the situation that you went in, like you went numb to it. Like it's just like this is it.
Mm-hmm.
But in a few hours, you're gone. That's how life was. It wasn't until a certain time that you start thinking, okay, maybe things might change. Maybe we might survive. But it's if.
Right.
Anything can happen. And to be quite honest, I created a God. I mean, I'm a strong believer,
mm-hmm.
but I do sometimes think about what really kept us from them killing us. I didn't see nothing. because they had all the power. How do people put you in the prison to get killed? They have dug the hole to throw everybody, to kill everybody, and to bury them in one hole, right? And they tell you that it's gonna be just one time, like we taking it, you know. And then they start taking everybody at once is gonna create the chaos. Or we're gonna take one by one. They used to come. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But like to grasp at that, man, it was just like, whoa, you know what I mean? This is it. Am I gonna survive tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's how it is. So really, to be honest with you, it's just like, man, it was awful. It was awful. You know what I mean? It was really, really awful. It rained. You didn't have Africa rain. It wasn't just like bad timing.
Right.
It was pouring. I mean, like the place get wet.
Mm-hmm.
You get wet. That place that they were sleeping. Where you gonna? You can't even like say, okay, let me squeeze myself to that corner. It's wet. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everywhere is wet. Like Iran's is wet. You're still sleeping on the concrete, and kids, because of the malnutrition, like kids, you know, anything they put in them, they just diarrhea. It's just right there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have water to kind of spray, at least like, you know, for sanitation. You don't. All you do is just grab grass and trying to wipe as much as you could, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and imagine this is a place that we live like for 12, 16 months.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So, question. So was the fear of, or I would even say, just not knowing if you're gonna survive the next day, does that come into play with the sleeping pattern? I think because that's the main thing that because you guys, again, I want you to share a story about how you guys used to sleep, because I heard you guys talk about this multiple times.
So the way we, I think you heard from Moses always the kids, you know, like. So apparently, I was the oldest, like, of course.
Apparently, Amy was.
Amy was the oldest, but in Mel, you know, because Mel they get targeted, you know, like. But female, they get targeted in different ways. So at that time, it was just like they were looking for men. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So and it was kind of like tall, skinny dude. You know, like
handsome man.
There you go. If you add that one, yeah, you can only ask my wife. No, I'm just kidding. But so it was better for me to keep hiding. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the pattern, we didn't have a lot of pattern of sleeping. You know, it used to be mom at the end. So let's say if this is the law,
mm-hmm.
right? So I'll start, most of the time I started there. So now I'm kind of further.
Okay.
So at least they're not gonna see my height and see who I am, you know, things of that nature. I mean, I least to believe that it's to protect me in a way. And then the rest of the kids and mom will be at the end. I remember one time they came and they were grabbing my mom and with a gun on her head,
mm-hmm.
to just let it go, because you know, the idea was like, if they're trying to pull one, we all hold each other and scream, because they used to come at night.
Right.
And those people who used to come trying to kill us, mainly there were people who very angry. They came to the war, and they know what's happening in the war. Either they got defeated, you know, or they lost, you know, their loved ones maybe, and they bring the anger towards you know, towards us, you know, and we just scream in the middle of the night. Everybody like a scream, and for a minute they would just go.
Mm-hmm.
They would say that, oh, we're gonna come back. Let's go, we're gonna come back. So really they're doing at night, but it's not like they were sent by the leaders,
mm-hmm.
or it's a time to go kill them. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So they were just doing it.
So that was so hard, you know, for them to do it with us screaming.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, so because they can get,
So otherwise, if they get found by the leaders, they can get in trouble.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is just though, even though we are placed in that situation, they gave us the guard, like the soldiers, to protect us. you know, of course, from running away.
Right.
You know, that's the first thing, you know, like from running away.
Mm-hmm.
But they play a huge, big role because they were ex-militaries from, you know, a country that I don't mention
Mm-hmm.
in that camp.
Right.
There were a lot of them. So seeing people like us, you know, they call Tutsi, man, they want to eat you alive
Mm-hmm.
more than the soldiers that were trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Like for them, man, it would have been like one night, like literally like one night.
Dang.
So I say those guards, they really protect us, you know, from those people like big time. Those people can't get close to us.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of the kids, you know, they allow him to go, like toileting, like in the bushes, in the bathroom or whatever, and the soldier was just watching him, and he saw one of the guy, he was about to go hit him like in the head, and the soldier just jumped and went after him, and the guy flew. I mean, like he ran,
Mm-hmm.
but he would have
just killed him.
He would have killed him in a minute. So at least, and that's why God work in a mysterious way. Like, you know, even though you're still going through the situation, God, the same people that God, you know, I mean, like who's harming you,
Mm-hmm.
they're some good people. They're
Right.
some good people. Literally, I mean, like they were protecting us from those people, even though they were protecting us to be killed later on.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's just like it's so amazing how like those guys, they were very protective. You know, of course, from us not living, you know, in the prison or run away, because you know we could have run away, something like that.
Okay, so wait.
You know.
So I'm gonna pause you right there because the next question, I just want to check and make sure that we're still good to go.
Yep.
All right, we're good.
We good?
Still going. Okay, you're saying that, okay, so for the next story, you went right into it perfectly. You said that these guys were there to not allow us to run away, but you were able to find a way to run away and get outside the camp. Can you tell us, again, I know a little bit about it, but for the people, can you tell us, one, why did you run away? Two, how in the world were you able to get away? And three, while you're out there and you have that sense of freedom, so you've escaped this death camp in this situation, but you still come back. I know you came back for this specific reason why you left, but once you get that taste of freedom, what does that kind of make you feel like, hey, man, do I really want to go back there?
Oh man. So you asked me earlier that I mean, how did I process it when I found out that my dad passed?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I told you like I didn't think of anything really much the same way I answered without repeating it. But as the time went by, and literally like at the time, according to your question, we didn't know if my mom was pregnant.
Right.
Because my mom was pregnant, you know, he was at 1 month at least pregnant, but we didn't know.
Right.
Of course, you know how African women, they don't share, you know, such a thing like that. You know, of course, especially like a situation to being protective. As mom, as you know, mom
right.
being protective. So it was not until later on I found out my mom was pregnant.
Our mom, but yeah.
Oh, mom.
You keep talking about it like she's only your mom. I just want to clarify, she's both of our
Well,
mothers.
she's my mom.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
So, well, our mom was
Mhm.
pregnant. If that makes you feel better.
So much better.
And that's when it hit me so hard. You know, I grew up kind of like they're saying our culture, like the firstborn son, if your dad passed, it's almost like the legacy get passed on to you. Or at least, you know, as a firstborn son, you have to step in your dad's shoes, like, you know, like to be a man, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that, like when people talking, of course nobody thinks so much of it
Right.
until that time. Now I see my mom is pregnant. Now it's like, damn. Now I feel like I was obligated to play my dad's role.
That's real, right.
Because the situation that we're in, and now, like it started growing like big. The ideas start growing big in my head. So, what can I do to help out my mom?
Mm-hmm.
My mom had only one like those kind of
Kitenge.
African, they call whatever kitenge, and the top,
Mm-hmm.
it was just only 2 pieces.
And these are the pieces that when we got captured,
Because
got captured.
Because when we got captured, whatever you had on
is what you
is
got
what
for that
you
year
got.
and 4 months, right?
They didn't even give you a chance to grab anything.
Mhm.
I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, oh God, man. Now, besides get killed tomorrow, it's just like today, and it's a week, and now it's a month. Now it's 2 months. Oh damn, my mom is pregnant. The pregnancy, at one point, she's gonna give birth.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I thought about it. It grew so hard to me, and it made me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Uncomfortable. And plus, keep in mind that these people that place us in that situation, in that prison.
Mm-hmm.
There's a time, there's days. We go days without food. You know what I mean? Like they're not giving us food. It's either at first they started like they would give you certain cups of rice,
Mm-hmm.
even though it was not enough. I mean, we were like what, a family of 8.
Yeah.
But
one cup of rice.
One cup of rice.
That's crazy.
That is not.
The team ate that whole thing by himself.
Man. Said you, man. You.
Wait, I thought that was team, not me.
No, team was different, man. Team was different, but you also you couldn't eat, man.
Hey man, I was hungry.
All the time.
We were all hungry.
All the time. I
All
mean,
of
like,
us.
there's certain people that could be like.
And I was young. I didn't even think about it.
This is how much we had, but for you, it's just like
on me.
it's all mine, right? But man, so anyway, like, and it's just like a cup of rice. We go like days without eating,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm trying to find out. I was like, am I going? I mean, what can I do to help out the family? Like, there's nothing to do. I mean, first of all, we cannot go anywhere.
Right.
So by the time it came that they started giving kind of like freedom.
Right.
Because there were mango tree, like the way they planted like the road, there's like trees, like mango trees, like go all the way, like very far, like have you went like downtown?
Mm-hmm.
You see all those kind of like palm trees, how
They're all
stacked like in line.
Right.
That's how the mango tree were like they're in a camp from both sides, because the camp is kind of like in the middle. The house on the side, but at the same time on the road, that's how the mango trees were planted. So it was likely it was time for like when the mango kind of got ripe.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we will ask them, can we go get mango? Like some of them, they used to fall on just right there by the prison, and we go grab it. But if it doesn't fall, what you gonna do? If they didn't give up food, that's the only thing that would survive. And guess what? You gotta climb the tree. I used to be good at climbing the tree. Like I knew at least I had a skill to survive. Really, like to me, like the way we grew up, like like back home, and at least I knew certain skill to survive.
Mm-hmm.
I used to climb the tree, man. I used to tell Daniel, you know what? You just
stay down there and
stay down and catch him. He was in a bad situation, man. God bless.
Mm-hmm.
Bless him. I mean, like the way he survived, man, it's a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him, man. But he I mean, he was even a struggle like to even pick up the mangoes, man. Like for real, man. That's
He's
how.
in rough
Yeah, because he got
beat up.
He got beat up like big time.
Yeah, it was on the podcast that we were on last time. He was talking.
Yeah.
That.
He was beat up like big time, but you know, our clan, you know, and bring, you know, since not a lot of kids could climb the tree, you know, and I'll go all the way like and get the good mangoes, man. Like, you know, I remember sometimes the military they'll be like, hey, yo, Petit.
Give me some too.
Yeah, and they'll be asking for something, man. And they'll be like, man, whatever, you take it, take it off.
The mango of my life. You can have the best mango.
I'm telling you, man, I'll be like, man, right here, you choose, you know.
Right.
I mean, anything. And if you want to take it all, take it all. But, you know, bring, and that's how, you know, we're able to kind of like survive at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And life goes on, you know, like, it was surviving day by day, really. Man, like then that's when I start thinking like, what's going on? And then they stop. What happened is like a lot of, according to them, they were telling us, you know, we can't go get mangoes because a lot of military they ate mangoes because it was too much mango. Like I mean, imagine those trees like
Yeah.
and the militaries they eat a lot of mango, like, and then they get sick from like I think you know whatever disease, diarrhea or malaria, and they get you know like different like I mean they die from it, you know, according to them. So they try to prevent us like, well, like man. We don't care if we die. Let us die from mango. Exactly, bro. Like, you know, because when we started when the mango, when we first, like, the mango, you know, like, not really ripe. It's still kind of like, you know,
greenish.
Greenish,
right.
you know. We get it, and we kind of like, should I say barbecue? You put on the fire, and then it gets soft, and then you eat it.
Right.
That's how we started, and then all of a sudden the mangoes, you know, got ripe. It was like good, and they're trying to prevent you from it. You know, like we say, no, man, you guys are dying from there. This is the
We're surviving from this guy.
God is giving us this
mango.
This is a manna from heaven, bro. For real, man. Like I mean, we would sneak in, like we were like, come on, man. Like there's nothing we can do. But they were trying to prevent us from doing it. So when they did so, and then while the season of mango, all of a sudden like stop.
No more mangoes.
Bro, now he's just like, damn, what we gonna do? So now my mom's pregnancy is just like growing, man. Like, so I was thinking like, I mean, like I need to do something. So I started going to the street, like so they get now those ex-military they have gone. Everybody gone. Well, story like go back a little bit, you know. That's not before they were gone. So some have gone, but there's still some. A lot of them. I mean, there were a lot of them, man. They occupy like the camp like crazy, man. They used to get up in early morning, like really like people, man. It's just like a crazy. We like, man, we in big trouble, honestly. So we said let's start begging. You know, I started begging on the street, like you know. So early morning, they used to go to work, so they have to exit the camp to go in the city, like you know. I mean, like the military wives, like the military, you know, and they would go. So as they coming back, we would start begging. You know, we used to be on the street like from the morning, like trying to beg for something. You know, some people that would just like, you know, like cuss you out, like say a lot of things. You snake, cockroach, people that was killing us. I mean, you name it, every bad thing that they can possibly say. And you have some people, like they just generous. They would just give you like $1 like money, like Congolese money, you know, and they'll give it to you. You see what I'm saying? So the bad thing was this, man. Like, I mean, we were so, I would say like, we were so selfish about not like,
You're trying to survive.
Not because it's a part of you, that's who you are, but you're just trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine like we're standing on on the street like
Mm-hmm.
this. So if somebody's coming down and they're going to exit the camp or whatever, I mean this is in front of the prison. We didn't go
Mm-hmm.
that far because they're watching us. You have somebody coming down and going that way. If he trying to give this first person here,
Money.
we all
Whatever.
run it like, can you give us two?
Yeah.
And then he would say like, he would tell them, can you divide? Can you share?
Sure.
And now it's not yours.
Yeah.
We better like split like
Right.
like evenly. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And it, to you like, and then you'd be like, man.
No, I gotta
And I used to
share.
use like, man. You know what I'm saying?
These niggas, I gotta share with them.
You're like, man, you started like, it started growing on you like, it's just like, man, this is just wrong. Like, guess what? If somebody's coming that way,
Mm-hmm.
whoever they give it to there, we all go.
Right.
So it's just like, you can't run away from it. So then guess what? It gets a part of it. I mean, it becomes a part of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But and then that's when because I used to speak that language like Chiluba like really fluently. You cannot tell me.
Yeah.
And sometimes they used to speak like when I speak to them, they say like, and as they're walking, they'll be like, man, they're lying. These guys not around this.
Right.
They say it's not from around it. This just allowing this kid, man.
Right.
I can't hear them talking like that. I used to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, those are military and their families. Remember, they used to, work for the military. Like go get water, do the domestic work.
Labor work, right?
Whatever.
Labor.
Yeah. Did I say? Well, yeah. Exactly.
No, yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So I was like, man, I can also do that.
Mm-hmm.
I was skinny but strong, and at least I had a goal now, So
Your goal was?
my goal was, trying to buy, I mean, like, I was thinking about my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the situation that we're in, man, like, man, at one point I was like, man, why all of a sudden, like, we in this situation, mom is pregnant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, man. That's when I started thinking, like, man, like, before I didn't think of anything, but it's just like, now it's just hard. The more I see her, like, get tired, the more I see her clothes, like, has, like, a hole. I'm like, tomorrow she's going to be naked.
Yeah.
And it's going to be torn apart, and my mom is going to be naked. I couldn't stand that. I could not. I would die for, like, before I see my mom's like not having clothes on her body. I'll die first. That's how I was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It went from like, I'm thinking a little bit, I'm worried, I didn't have no answers, but now like my mind I start, like having a plan what to do. So me start begging on the street. It was nothing just, I need money. It's so I can collect and see, if I can have enough to go buy her, like, you know what I mean? More like another like tangle according to you, or like another.
Oh yeah, I don't know that.
Another cover.
Yeah.
I don't know in English how they say it.
Yeah.
It's just like a piece of a cloth that you can cover yourself. And that was my goal. And it was just about my mom, not even like, the kids, the babies. It was just like my mom. I don't want to see my mom just like not having anything.
Right.
Excuse me. So going, you're begging on the street, like all this time, and you're not getting anything really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and sometimes when we don't have anything to eat, so we use whatever we beg. And purchase something like they had kind of like people like selling things like on the street sometime there, and you buy it, you know what I mean. So I said, like I can speak the language, you know. I can literally go to the military wives, like people like that speak. Oh, of course they speak Chiluba because the country, like the city that we were imprisoned in, they speak Chiluba. And I say, I'm gonna change it up. Since I start, begging, and now everyone is on the street. Like whatever I get, we share it with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is not gonna get me to my plan like so fast. And my mom is everything. The situation is getting worse. You know, this is the clothes that you sleep on can't change. Of course, everybody, they were in that kind of situation. And I started working for them. But it was so dangerous, man. Like so many times, I almost got killed. Like literally, like the people they're planning, I can't hear them.
Right.
Like let's kill them.
Really?
Oh my God! And I, cause I know, I said, "Would you want baby she?" Like, what are you saying? Like I was speaking to him. "You want baby? What are you talking about?" And then when I'm speaking to Chiluba, one of the guy will be like, "Man, come on, this is no like Ron. These will speak Chiluba like this. It will speak like that. Let's go, man. You know what I mean?" And they'll survive that day. And and we, it's not like it was a very good spot that they can't kill me like easily. It's not like there's anybody watching because we go in the bushes like a long like go down the mountain to go get water. Usually at the river or whatever to go get water to the people, to the military. And then we encountered like on the road. It's just like it's bushes, they can't do anything. It's just only one road that you can go.
Mm-hmm.
Side road that you can do nothing. And I didn't want to show them that I'm not like military's child or something like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
So I had to be really strong. I'm nervous, but I know anything. Again, the idea we're gonna get killed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But let me get killed trying.
Right.
Then like see my mom going through that. So I'll go and I'll survive like that. Guess what? I'm gonna come tomorrow, and we're gonna encounter with these people.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And I start like going different routes. Like, and guess what? Those routes that have some people again. It's just like. Man, I can't skip these people. These people, they're all over, It's just like this, But because the language that I spoke so fluently, they couldn't tell.
Mm-hmm.
And also because they didn't see me in a prison with their eyes where I go. You see what I'm saying? So they can't put two pieces saying, like, but I don't understand, man. Like, the shape, they would. Those guys, they know, they know, and trust me, they know. But it's just like God, in a mysterious way, man. God, He does miracles. Mm-hmm. I'll survive days, and that was the very big challenge for me, more than going outside the prison.
Okay, so how does John get outside the camp? So I used to work. For those people, and they'll give me some type of fufu, like the food, mm-hmm.
and I'll bring to mom and you guys, and we eat. Since you were
you're eating all the food,
you eat all the food. Of course, I had to eat first. So I had,
on the way there.
Well, I just say I used to take the first bite
just to make sure they're important. Like that. I like it.
To make sure I get strong, so I can have more strength to go get more water. So I'll bring it home, and some generous people that will give me money.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, can I get some money? Really instead. If they say no, I'll take the fufu. Anything is better than nothing. Yeah. So again, I'm not gonna mention people. My story is totally like personal,
mm-hmm.
because it involves people that were in the prison.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because that reason. That's why I don't want to tell my I have not had enough guts to speak publicly, and to mention the people's name, and they're gonna remain
Unanimous?
Unanimous. You see what I'm saying?
That sucks for the people and me, but it's
No,
for your safety, and I understand.
No, not only the safety for me, because for me, I care less, but I respect people.
Man, even though they were trying to.
Yeah, I mean, they did me wrong, man. They did me dirty. I'll tell you that. Because guess what? As a kid, you need encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
Me starting begging on the street, it's not a sin.
Yeah.
But me coming back, they will see me down and I'll be the example, a shameful kid, like in front of everybody, like
for trying to survive.
I'm trying to survive, and you just belittle me like big time, and you, my people, we suffering together.
Right.
Who am I not to beg if I can survive that way? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, imagine I was young.
Yeah, man, 13.
I'm talking about like 13-ish, so I was young, I didn't know much. I didn't know anything. Like you said, even though we had a father at the time, the prison, my dad used to be business, used to be gone a lot. We were just kids, man. We didn't think about life, anything, just go to school, come back. You never knew like you're gonna get in this situation. So, go from begging on the street and start working and come back. It's another like now they take to another level. It's just like, man, come on, man. But guess what? That's when I knew that I was I'm starving liver.
Yeah, that's what we get.
This is the only time I can't be. I was not now. Not now.
You are still stubborn. What?
Not now. But back in the day, man, I used to be stubborn like that. Like
exactly.
But guess what? At 13 years old, I didn't let that like kill my mind. At least it did not stop me at all. I remember the first day I didn't do anything. And kind of you can see it's my mom's eyes. You just feel so bad, like your child. Talking about your child like that. But to me, it didn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
And guess what? The next day, my mission is still the mission.
Yeah.
I need to accomplish my mission. So after a certain period of time, I was able to make enough money to buy my mom, that cover, the cloth. And because I used to bring and give my mom, of course, she was in my bank, and give it to her. And sometimes when we don't have food, of course, she touched from my savings.
Your savings, and this is your food for the kids.
Savings, bro. So, but I managed to have enough, and I asked her she didn't. I don't think she gave me a hard time. But I did talk. I don't remember me having a conversation with her like, hey mom, I'm going to buy things, because I don't recall if you say anything trying to stop me from going, because it was dangerous. So that part is blunt for me, like really, I can't remember. So she gave me, I got the money, and now, like, man, I was planning, like, before I asked for the money, I planned it ahead, like, so now I need to exit. The funny thing is, like, they used to have like a small, like a supermarket, like in the camp, like really we can't exit, you just like furthermore, like, probably like 20-minute walk, but they did not have those kind of pain. That I was so shocked. It was just like food, in a place, like. So now I have to plan it, because they have the gate, like the gate at the prison, like to enter the prison and to exit. So there's no other route, So now I have to plan, like, to exit the prison, right? It was just like, because we have been in a prison for a long time, and we became numb to it, and it became like a lifestyle.
Right.
When I would know, now it's just like we see that there's a chance that we might survive, but when We cannot leave. You know, they kind of gave you guys the freedom there. The only freedom is just like to beg, you know, to go work, but you still come back.
Right.
But for me, I could have had thousands of ways to escape the prison, but I didn't want to escape the prison because it's either gonna put my family in danger, and I was the only one who was providing.
Yeah.
You know, you had a, you know, you were young, but you had a big stomach to eat, to be fed. You know, it was the same thing. You know, Moses was so young. Also, I mean, it was just me. And I can't let Amy cannot go there, and then she exposed herself. You know, female is so vulnerable, man. Like, you know. So I was the only. I mean, God is the number one to help with the survival, but I was the only, probably like the only one God could use. I'm not saying like.
No, I hear you.
I'm trying to be kind of. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
I was the only.
At that moment.
At that moment, the source of, you know, you guys, you know, if you can't get any of that cup of rice, you know, like, you know, I was the second, you know,
second source
to you know, provision, man.
Yeah.
God's providence, man, is just like it's amazing, man, the way God works, you know, like. So I planned, and guess what? I told Christian, you know Christian,
yeah.
Right? I won't disclose the last name, but we have a lot of Christians, right? Hey, Chris, if you hear this podcast, man, you know, I apologize. I'm sorry, man, for putting you in that position, man. And I think Christian was kind of the only one who was so close to me to being like stubborn. Like he didn't even like doubt me. Like he said, "Yeah, let's do it." You know, I'm older than him.
Yeah.
But to see how he said, "Yeah, let's go," he was so happy. Like, you know, dude, you're not even thinking. Like for me, at least me, I was kind of older a little bit than him. I can't process it, you know, all the possible way. Like, what can happen if we get caught? That was the only thing that was like so hard, man. Like, that was so hard. I struggled with it. You know, I planned it for days. Told him, and I remember Chris was like, "I'm still going." I'm still going. He's like, "Man, come on, man. We were going, but let's just wait about
that." Yeah, just let me think about this first, okay?
Let me think about it, because guess what? I'm the only family guy, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm all the guy. So, man, like I say, you know, Chris, this is what we're gonna do. You see how, like, very, very early morning, there's a crowd of people like exiting. You know, let's just try to go in the midst of the crowd. It's not like they do ask ID to check for people like, okay, this is your ID, who are you? No, it's just all, because this is military camp. All the people that's exiting, it's either the sons and daughters of their, you know, or wives, you know, maiden, you know, things of that nature.
Right.
Or the servants, whatever. They don't check for ID. Just open the gate, and some of them, they had kind of side alley to just go by, you know, like, because we used to go around to get kind of wood, you know, like, and we see, like, you know how it is, you can see it. Man, it was just like we just crossed fingers, you know. And Chris said, "Let's go, man." I never asked him I never asked him this question. How did you feel? Like, I don't know if he doesn't remember. How did you feel when I told you? I want to ask him that question. Right. You know. We went out, bro. We exit. We was like, oh yeah. The problem was we have to time again, like to come back. That was just like, man. It's just like, man. You succeed on one end, like at the same time, it's just like, man, you're doomed. You cannot stay here. You literally we cannot spend the night here. We have a choice to spend the whole night there. Or, I mean, even like go our way, right? But we can't. If where we just came from the prison, if they find out that there's two people missing, man, it's just like bad for the rest of the. I mean, now it's gonna raise like some red flag, per se. Like they're gonna be hard on them. You know what I mean? So we have to find a way to come back. But as we exit out, we go. You leave the gate. Immediately when you leave the gate, you see there's water. There's a river. You cross the river and you kind of like go like uphill, and then on the side there's like corn, like cornfield, like, so it's just only alley. You can't see anybody who's coming from that road or the alley. So me and Chris, we're going, man. We literally like met with the soldiers. Oh my God. We can't go in, then they're gonna be suspicious.
Right.
We remember they stopped us and they took the knives out. We said, if there's something that I'm so afraid in my entire life, it's a knife. I mean, like, I get frightened with a knife. I don't know if they threatened me with
You got traumatized.
I got traumatized from it. I hated it. Other than me holding the knife, anybody next to me holding the knife, I always like it. My instincts always like, oh, he got a knife. That's how I am. You can't have a gun on me. I still like. Well, the gun also kind of like traumatized me.
Right.
I remember I don't want to tell the story.
Why not?
Why
not? You're here.
I mean, like I was here, like when I got pulled the first time, man. Like
pulled over.
And the policeman, the two policemen. Sometimes I just don't understand, man. Like this is the first time like coming from the prison, man, and now you got two police, got pointing you, like on the wheel. You didn't do nothing. That I was so shocking, man. Like it was shocking to me. Like I felt like my heart's about to pop out. But I knew like I have to keep my hands on the wheel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they still come with the gun, and why? Just because some dude, some I won't say stupid man. Well, that stupid person.
Right.
Called. I was coming from a football game at my high school, and I'm driving like this. These guys kind of like cut me off. When I change the lane, they change lane. And like I'm like, dude, what are they trying to do? So I find a way kind of to change the lane and go in front of them. And I decided to pick up the phone and call. I can look on the rear mirror. They called police. I knew they called the police. Immediately, the police came. Well, we got a call. At least that was the explanation. They said, you know what, we get pulled? Yeah, I know. Somebody call y'all. I said, yeah, why? And I explained to them. They let me go, but they came with guns, man.
Right.
Since the prison, like this is the second time I'm seeing like the gun. Anyway,
right, back to the knife getting pulled on you, but
and then those military, man, they start saying, "Where you guys going?" It's almost like they knew us, but we just pretend like we just go to. I think there was, I don't know. They scare us like so bad, but in our heads, like
you guys can't lose your cool.
We can't lose our cool, and also we cannot be so nervous, like to show them, we don't belong. Because if it's a military kids, they have a right to go, right? We just spoke in Chiluba. So we're going to the supermarket to Kusuma, if I can remember. We're going to the supermarket, and then it says, oh, okay, bucket. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, booed yourself a little
They
bit.
made the situation worse. I'm serious, man. I'm laughing, but sometimes it's just like I'm living it right now. Like
right.
They made the situation so worse. I say like, okay, these people, guess what? We're coming the same road. and then we have to go through that gate.
Right.
What's gonna happen if we get caught? Where did you guys go?
Mm-hmm.
How did you end up on this side? Oh, shit, man. There's some stuff, man. When I'm praying, like I said, I think about it. I'm so appreciative. I don't take it for granted, man. Like those moments, and we win, and
You got the stuff.
and got the stuff that I wanted.
Okay.
And it's like crazy. Okay, this is it, man. This is it. And we try to beg also along the way. Say this. It's almost like, how do they say kill
Two birds with one stone.
kill two birds with one stone, man. We used to beg on the street, but now we got a chance to go into people's house, man. Like we said to beg, man. We didn't catch no game, man. We were like, man,
no birds were killed.
No bird were killed. This is worse than standing on the street. You know what I mean?
Right.
So at least I got what I needed. We came, man. Like, okay, if the crowd didn't know us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we were safe. But guess what? Those people that we going with, they know some of us. They know us well because we do work for them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have been in the prison for a while, serving with them. That's the worst thing. It's not like only the guards. The guards probably don't know us.
Right.
You see, and they can't tell like, oh, you're around. Oh, you're the kid in the prison. Where did you go? And then they're gonna, you know, how do you say, you know, like trying to tie you with the like military that they're fighting with. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was just like the people that's going in the camp. You know, that we were afraid of the most. And then if they recognize us, they can tell the guards, these kids, they're prisoner. They just, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sure, man. We just, again, we had no choice. We had to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very kind of late also. We couldn't come back early. Then it was just going to be me and him.
Yeah.
Or with maybe a few people. And it's easy to get spotted, you know? And we waited like when everybody's kind of like come back from their work, like around like 4:35. And we get there, man, and like we managed to get in. When we crossed the you know the border, I mean like the gate,
Mm-hmm.
man, it was the best feeling ever. Have you seen him? I think I felt the same way. I couldn't jump, but you know, have you seen Mark Lawrence? You know, the movie Bad Boys,
Yeah.
where he crossed the Mexico border,
Uh-huh.
and then with the diamond and how he
Oh,
goes
you're
like
talking
that.
about. Wait, what's that movie called? It's not Bad Boys. It's
It-
is it all about the Benjamin or something like that?
No, that's
With-
not all Benjamin. That's
wait, it was with
Cube.
Ice Cube and what's his name?
No, that's not Ice Cube. It's a Will Smith.
Bad
No, it was not. It was Mark Lawrence, and I think it was Will Smith too. Yeah, man, it's Bad Boys. I think it's Bad Boy 1 or something like that.
Okay, well then I must not remember.
Yeah, you don't remember. I remember, all about Benjamin. I don't know the movie. And how he jumped and he threw himself up. That's how I felt, man. Of course, they did the movie, but me, it was real life.
Yeah.
Man, it was joy. I got what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get caught. Now we're going.
Right.
And guess what, man?
What?
Imagine all that joy. You going to break the news. You brought what you needed to your mom. Guess what? Again, those people that I told you, they had told the soldiers, the guard.
Dang. Did they saw you guys?
What's that?
Did they saw you guys?
When
Told
we
the
left?
guards? Yeah.
When we left
Uh-huh.
the prison? No, they
No, you said
didn't.
they told the. You said who told the guards?
The people that were, again, they remain anonymous.
Oh, so there are people that are.
They're always trying-
your own people.
My own people. They say,
That's tough.
this kid, man. This kid.
And they pointed you out.
Of course, I was the oldest one. This kid went outside of prison. I was, man. Imagine, I mean, what would have happened? Like, sometimes when I think about it,
I'm
like,
fighting
oh,
those people.
How you gonna fight, man? You in
I don't.
prison.
Well, what do you mean? They can snitch on me, then we can throw hands.
There's no, you can't fight.
What do you? You tell me you didn't get in one fight in prison, John?
The fight?
Yes.
You know what fight got me into?
What?
The day you want to know the story, I will tell you.
No, I want to know what. Well, now I'm asking you the question.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me finish that story. Then you're gonna ask me that. That's so. The same people, man. I told the soldiers, imagine, man, like your own people, man. Like it was some man. They just hated me so bad. Like, okay, my mama went through hard shit in prison.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
You're not drinking this. So I'm gonna drink it for you.
If you want to drink, I'm gonna drink this coffee because when you're telling the story, sometimes I forgot. I get into it, you know.
Okay, continue.
Mom played a big role for us to survive, like, you know, to keep us together, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And she had her own problems, like as far as a pregnancy,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with the babies. But my story is just like, I was living in almost like two prisons. Like one prison on top of another prison. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, because you're trying to get people or trying to kill you.
So the enemies are trying to kill you.
Your own people are trying.
And now your people did. You know what I'm saying? That's how my life was in prison. It was rough.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when they snitched on you, what did the guards do?
Oh, man, I got ass whooping.
You got whooped?
I got ass whooping. If I can't say that on your camera.
Yeah, you can.
I got literally like whooping like big time. And I feel so bad. I got Christian into it. He got beaten a little bit, but they say you're the oldest one. You're the one who took him. Of course, Chris could have said no. I was still gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I brought the idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I felt so okay. He got beaten because of me. Because you know, I taught him my idea. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Chris didn't know that I was gonna buy what I need to buy. I just said, here, let's just go exit. You know what I mean? Let's see what's out there and see if we can get something. You know, but I got bit, man. For some, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Who does that to
It's your own people.
own people?
Suffering together too.
We're suffering. We're living in survival mode. We're trying to survive, but it's always like something like, you kid, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
You telling the soldiers to do what? To come after us? They can't find us where what route we took.
Mm-hmm.
We're not escaping. If we wanted to escape, we could. I mean, literally, like, man, I could escape the prison like a long time ago, but me escaping the prison, what good does that do to me?
Right.
None. Other than hurting my family, I was the only provider for the family. You know, to start to finish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember one time, man. This is something that I always like every time when I pray. Again, I don't take it for granted that I always appreciate God. They gave us a rice. You know, they gave a rice. Again, I mean, like the time that you guys gave a rice to me, it's just like, it's almost like, how can I compare to it? You know, like
A 5-course meal.
no, that is just nothing, man. Like
That's nothing compared to the one cup of rice. The feelings you got.
No, I'm saying like the day they will give you guys rice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to compare like something here in America, like it's on Christmas time. Be like, you know how
Oh, the joy you felt.
I don't know, something that you can't get and you get so you know. And then these kids in prison, I love them. I love them dearly because they're my family. So they start playing with the rice, and the rice is going on the ground. And it's just like, yo.
You almost beat a little.
And guess what? And that's the time they decide, unanimous people decide that instead of just like, if they give mom a cup to cook with her kids and eat, decide that, you know, if everybody bring, because they used to give her rice and then they measured it, you know, per family, you know, per family, or you take one cup, one cup, one cup, one cup. If we can bring all the, you know, together, we cook in a big pot, and then instead of like, you know, raw rice, let's give it cooked rice and per family. Once we finish cooking, then it's gonna be a lot, enough. You know what I mean? But yet before it's getting cooked, you these kids, man, they just playing with it, man. It's just like, oh, y'all getting my nerves. You know, like.
Right. Wait, is it us?
No, definitely not.
There's other kids.
No, not my brother.
Me.
not. Oh my God, I would have whooped you so bad. Of course, you knew that you would not, man.
Yeah.
I mean, who would that? You
No.
instead of you just like throwing it on the ground, you were trying to eat it like that. I know you like on team at least, you know.
Yeah.
Bro, I went and told them and trying to stop them, you know, and the kids they're trying to be like, you know, hard headed and like. You know, like, not even listening. Slap the hell out of him. Oh, I'm sorry. I slap him. You know what I mean? When I slap him, the kid faked that, you know, he passed. He passed out. You know? And his brother, you know, took a wood. Like, we used to have, like, you know, like, dry woods that we bring, you know, to make a fire. Because, I mean, like, sometimes you get cold and sometimes we can cook with it. Man, he hit me so hard, like on my
Leg?
no, like on my
Or your ankle?
my ankle. Man, I felt like pain travel like my whole entire limb. Like it was so hard, like man. I felt like something happened.
Yeah.
He broke my ankle or something.
Mm-hmm.
And started swimming. And the kid who faked that he was
Passed out.
he passed out. Instead of like waiting, like see if he passed, because he faked. And I got taken unanimous person again. I don't know how important this is going. Like I said, this is a personal because. It's very personal, man. Like, I cannot disclose the information. Grab me. Literally, like, grab me. And at that time, I didn't have any mobility. I'm walking with one foot. And he took me to the commander. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Like, I was like, now you start thinking like there's that tunnel that I was telling you, but then none for me.
That was it for you.
That was it for me.
Yeah.
First of all, I was now kind of like a young man at 13, and as much as I'm trying to be kind of like not be obvious to them, so they can say, "Oh, you're a man already. Let's take you out." You know what I mean? Now this person took me like and grabbed me. If I had my limb,
Your leg.
I would try my best, you know, to run away. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't run for my life. She dragged me. She was dragging me. At some point, I'd be like, "Can you just let me walk? Let me rest. I'm tired."
Yeah.
I mean, my leg, my foot was like this. I can't even like. Planet like on the ground. We go and he goes There's this military in Congo they call. They have like a number like a PM.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? And they were like sitting like probably like I said like 300 feet next building. He only said, excuse me, sir. What he said? Excuse me, moi commandant, like a commander, like almost like showing respect. We have this kid, that's me, and he's giving us a hard time, and he just beat one of the kid and kill him. So I'm gonna bring him to you guys. You guys can do whatever with him. When she said that, I was like, I'm dying. That's when I saw like a death, like in my like I can't stop feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, imagine you were waiting for them to come to you,
right.
But now
it's there.
Now they're taking you to them,
right? To
hand it to you, like.
And these are your own people.
Again,
it's unanimous. Right? You're not gonna say the name.
But they live with us. We were in the prison with
together, right?
Together. And then those guys they said, "Madam, there's nothing we can do. Nemaye Epa Commander Dika, take him to the chief of the camp." Oh my God, man. Ah, damn, man. Sometimes it's just like, it hit me so hard. Like, sometimes when I think about it, I mean, what kind of person, like. And keep in mind, as we left, they say they're going to take that kid to your hospital. When they got on the way, the kid was just, I mean, he was asleep. He was sleeping, man. I wasn't that strong to slap somebody and then pass out, man.
Right.
Come on now. Unless if I really meant it. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so you get sent to the chief, and what happens there?
Bro, we were just right there. Like, I mean, you looking at the chief's home.
Mm-hmm.
They were outside, like in a patio, with a lot of commanders. I almost felt like I want to, you know what I mean? Like literally, like I swear to God, I knew, like my heart convinced me that I'm not coming back.
Right.
Literally, I'm not coming. When I saw those guys, at least maybe if it was a commander, the commander of the camp, the one who's maybe, I would have at least explained myself the rest of my case.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Lord, take my life.
This is it.
Honestly, like, man, and she's driving. I mean, and this is far walk too, man. Like, I mean, I can't see all the route too. Damn, man. We get there, she presented me the same way. He killed one of the kids, and these kids has been very hard to us. Like, please do something for him. I'm bringing him, because they asked me, when you bring, you guys can do whatever you want. Man, when she said that, the commander of the camp asked her, did the child die? She said, well, they took the child to the hospital. And then guess what the commander the commander of the camp said? Okay, you can go back. Let's see how the child is gonna be doing, and then we will know what to do after that. She had me in her arm, man. She just like let go of me like that. So, when I turned back, man, limping, man, like it was a long walk, man. Of course, she beat me to the house. My mama does tell me, like, you know, it was a worst moment for her life when she saw her without me.
Right.
She left with me, but she came back without me. She said, "Oh, there's my son's gone." I can imagine mom's thought process at that moment. Like, what would you do? This is my son, son of a God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And man, I lived like all the way to the prison, man. I made it. Guess what? When she got there, her child was playing. Child was playing, man. Imagine that, man. I mean, this is no joke. I mean, we're laughing about it right now, but when I do think, I know how deep it was, how sincere. Like, I mean, it was gracious, you know, like what God did for me that day. I mean, other than Daniel, who was the tallest, I was the tallest, second tallest, you know, like. It was just one easy thing, man. Like, there's one time. I mean, there's one thing. A lion come to you, find you where you are. Right. There's another thing. Like you get fed to the lion, man. That's different. Totally different.
Right.
You know, it's even crazy. Like when I'm telling you all those stories. I mean, multiple times I encountered those people. At least I can react with them. You know, and it's by choice. I'm meet these people that can harm me, and they tend to harm me. They want to do whatever they want to do, but I maneuver through it.
Right.
But that
you couldn't.
I couldn't. That's hard, man. That's really, really hard.
Okay, last point that I wanted to make in the podcast, man. Okay, so now we have the story with Amy. Well, this is probably going to be more of a sensitive one and harder for you to talk about. Amy shared with us on my podcast with her, right? So again, you're left with these two scenarios, right?
I finished my drink. Damn.
I didn't finish it all. I just finished most of these. You're gonna drink your Starbucks. Amy, so there's a scenario, man, the unpredictable scenario that anybody should ever be put in, right? Especially a sibling. So now it's two things: your life. Or Amy's life, really, in a sense, if we really think about it. And she ends up risking her life, right? Because she wants to save you. In the podcast, she says, it's basically like my dad. How can I let my second dad get harmed or get killed? Like she wouldn't be able to live with herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we look fast forward, again, God was able to use that situation. God uses the worst situation and finds it to get glory in it. And we almost, in a sense, survive because of what happens at that moment. But for you, can you tell us what your thought process was? What that night that it happened, what was going on, and then Amy having to leave. Again, as short as possible. I don't want you to leave out a lot of things, but to your best of ability, could you share what that looked like for you? Because you're giving up your sister to basically get taken advantage by another man, but it's also for your life, right? I know this is a tough one to talk about.
Yeah.
And so you go about it at your own pace, however much details you want to share, however much you want to keep out. Again, this is up to you, but what does that look like for you?
Oh, man. Like you said, man, this is sensitive for me, you know. I hope, sometimes I do hope, and I wish I can have a confirmation from God that was God's plan. Like, literally, like, sometimes we do perceive things differently and think that this is God, you know, but sometimes it's just like the only thing like just that can make me feel like more better about it is even though I'm a big believer, everything happens for a reason. For a reason. That confirmation from God, it was me that played that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then at least I can't feel like it's so, like, why me?
Right.
Again, like I told you, man, like, I live in a prison, but I didn't live like other people or other kids in the prison. I don't know, maybe it's through jealousy, or enviness, or hatred. But I didn't do anything wrong to any. I mean, none of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like people that were living in prison, or we stayed in prison. I mean, we were in prison, incarcerated together. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's everybody.
Right.
These are specific people. That same people, man. Although this time it was a different person, man. It's just like sometimes I wonder, like, why me? To be quite honest with you, I used to be very. I knew what I wanted in prison, like as far as like for my family, and I would have done anything for my family member, anything. Like I put my life in line so many times, that if you ask me today, I probably would not pull myself into
Because
it.
you're a softie.
I'm not soft, but it's just
I'm
like
just playing.
maybe it's the way y'all grew up now. Yeah,
We're
being,
grown.
no, I'm just kidding.
I know.
But excuse me. They hunted me, man. It's just like, some stupid thing that you can possibly think that caused that one person, that one action of an enemy. Just only stupid thing. Just someone that just utter a word, and that word turned out to be not safe for my family. A word that I could not possibly utter. I was young, but I was not stupid. All my moves were calculated. I tried to. I lived in prison like other kids. We shared suffering, we shared everything, but I didn't live like that because my mom was different. My mama had a baby in her womb that anytime they can be born. At first I was thinking about her covered, but now it was different ball game. Okay, what now? It's almost like Kevin Hart, like, what now?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Why not for me? Why not for mom? The baby, it's either this baby gonna kill her, or at one point they're gonna be born.
Mm-hmm.
What condition they're gonna be in? What to feed them? At least you, team, who was the youngest
Right.
at the time, who's gonna? I mean, yeah, I can't eat any food that we eat, at least, but this is the baby.
Yeah.
It's just like certain, like, this is the baby, man. Like, look at the place they're gonna be born at. Look at just the place, like, they're gonna be born at. Like the cardboard. You see what I'm saying? We no longer have those cardboard. They were gone, like gone. You see what I'm saying? Now it's just cement. It's just like ridiculous, man. Like, so to me, even though we go begging, oh, I'll go work for, so but I always had people hunting me, like hating on me, like on my family, But at the same time, I didn't want anybody to touch my family. But yet, you always find something to hunt with. So, like I told you, every day we go we go, like, imagine like when I started going to work for the people, now I'm getting something, like fufu, or they gave me something. So they start seeing John is going, even though I was scolded and, you know, they said everything they can possibly do, it did not stop me, like I told you earlier.
Right.
But guess what? Now everybody's doing the same thing that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Those ex-military, they had gun. It's only us now. So it was easy for me to do what I need to do. Now, those people that used to be very threatening to me on the road, they're gone.
Right.
So at least we got, like, we had a peace of mind at that time from those people. Now I can go to any house, you know, military, and hey, do you need water? If I get you water, you know, get all I need is just anything. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, okay, now I have at least the way I can help mom, you know, like if the kids are born, at least we have some sugar.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We have some sugar or in the tea on the side. Like she can make, I mean, that's the least thing she can possibly do. I cannot afford those powdered milk.
Right.
First of all, a baby should not start with that.
Yeah.
It should not start with the water, sugar, whatever, and those kind of, you know, like the needle like powder, you know, milk. Can't do it. But if you can't afford that, that was like way like out there. You know what I mean? But I work hard, man. Like, so every time we go to the water to get water. I mean, you imagine you're working for the military, man. You see where I found myself being stubborn. I hated anybody to disrespect me, ever. Even today, like you can do whatever.
I got that from you too. Anyways, continue.
I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like you going to get the water at the well. I mean, like miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get there. The rules is you get first, you get water.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But guess what? My colleagues, or at least you know
Your people.
my people that we were in prison, when we used to get, sometimes I used to get a second round and they're still there. Like they just stopped them from, you know, getting water. You know, like they just called them to you, Randy. Like, I mean, like sometimes I'm like, yo, y'all still here, or this is the second round? They said no, we still didn't want to. Guess what? I got so stubborn, like I stopped, like whooping their ass, like. I would get there. I would go in the front of them. I said.
They were scared of you at this point.
At this point, man, I mean, it's not like they spoke the language better than I did.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And I would tell them, this water is for your mamas. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How dare y'all like trying to say, you know, it's either we fair, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I find this kid like really prevented Daniel from getting water. I went, came back, Daniel was still there. This kid was just like big, hard-headed, man. And the worst thing that you can be in the fight is with the Muluba. Not because you're not gonna win the fight, but they're not gonna let you go. Like literally, they can say you're gonna kill me, and they just hold your shirt. It don't matter how much you're gonna whoop their ass. I mean, like they're gonna hold you. That's the kind of mindset they have.
Mm-hmm.
That culture, man, is just like they're so hard headed, man. I never seen people like so hard headed like that when it comes like to fight. They know first of all they're fighting with somebody that they know they're gonna get whooping, like whooping like big time. But yet they're not afraid. They're just gonna hold the shirt. Man, I remember that kid, man. Oh my God. I said, I'm gonna get water. I got the water, I got Daniel water, and then he trying to say something, I whoop his ass. Like, I remember one time, man, I mean, I repent from it. I did repent from it, but I'm just, for the sake, for your story, it was muddy, like, you know, the river, and I just took his face and just like put it in the muddy, and Daniel was like, John, you gotta stop. And I stopped. And that kid never get, I mean, like, never
no more.
try one more to stop us from getting water. And guess what? The funny thing is, moving forward, that kid, sister, I worked for her. One time, once upon a time, I mean, they became more and more helpful for me as the story goes along. But I was so afraid. But hear me out though. You're asking about Amy. This is where everything started. Again, we were getting water. So because, again, I said the country was in the chaos, like, you know, what was fighting the battle, you know, I won't say my people, not my people, whatever, the Rwandese, because, you know, they were trying to kill the Rwandese in general, or the Tutsi people in general. So apparently, I don't know who said what. Until today, I don't know. The word was at the water, where we go get water. The place at the river, where we go get water. Someone said, and that someone, they say it was me, that I said that if my people take over, we're gonna kill y'all. In other words, if they take over this city, we're gonna kill y'all. That I say that. In what world that would I have said that in that situation that we were in?
Don't never hear you,
bro. I mean, like it's so like. I mean, like, how dumb can you be to tell like the people that can kill you anytime such a thing? Who am I at that point to even say that? Only person who say that is when then at least they know, oh, tomorrow my people are going to take over. At least you can boast in that.
Yeah.
But there's no way that's going to happen. Until today, it never happened.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So guess what? The rumors now spread in the camp. So moving forward, I went to get water. You know the kid that I said I woke after maybe a week or month, I don't know, I can't remember the time frame. I went to work to get water for her sister. Her I think it's either with her sister, but her sister's husband was a very, very high rank military. He had a brigade that he was leading, like he was big time. Bro, I went to get water. That was the first news they told me. John, how can you say this? Say what? And they told me the person that lived with us that said that I said it. You see what I'm saying? I said, I did not say that. And guess what? That her sister, not her sister, the brother's sister, how can I say it? You know, that family had the brother that I woke had another young sister, older sister, who also was at the water.
Right.
I said, I was with you. Did you hear me did I say anything? Did you hear me say anything? You say no, but guess what? Such a person, unanimous again. I should say, I want to leave the name out. Say that I say that. Guess what? I went to confront the guy. You see what I'm saying? Bro, how can you put me in this position? How can literally, like, you put me in this is not an easy thing to deal with right now. Did you hear me saying that? No. Why did you say that? And she told me that you're the one who told her. He said, no, I did not say that. I said, what? I mean, like, I was so shocked that, like, he didn't want to, like, even, like, admit it.
Right.
What could I have done? There's nothing I could do now. Now the rumors spread. And then whoever told her. Now I had a case. And this case was not like, it was not an easy case, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, because this is how I know that it was not, this is how I knew at the time that it was not easy. So, the rumors came, and now everybody's like, now, guess what? Me walking in that camp, man, like, do what I used to do, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It became so difficult now for me to provide. Whatever was chipping to get sugar for the babies, or you know what. Now, everything's just like, I'm walking in fear. Now I know what might happen if I'm coming back. So I saw my mom and told my mom this is what's happening. Man, so this is how I knew that this situation has gone far. Now my case went from like rumor, now it's at the office, like the main office, like the camp, like at the brigade. Because the guy who came to my sister, right? He was a Sudanese. He was a mercenary. You know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like people like that work for, you get hired to work for, whatever you want, because he was a very, very intelligent man, like doing bombs. Mm-hmm. That was his job, to do bombs, and he was big time, man. Like, but I didn't know until later. So he came to our prison. Like, he called me, called my sister, called my mom, and they said, guess what? The reason why he came, remember that high guy that I said he was ranked, in the brigade? I used to work for him. They spoke Chiluba, so I was good with them. Every time when I tried to work, because I went from working for like, let me go get water. Now I say, they say, can we like hire you to working you to do everything? We're gonna pay you monthly. I said, hell yeah, man! Like, damn, man, I got a job now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Guess what? The same people that I'm telling you unanimous, that we met unanimous, they did whatever it took to take me out there. So I lost that. And then guess what? Next door, guess what? It was who? It was that guy, the mercenary guy. I started working for him. He used to do bombs right there. They used to bring like a lot of like bullets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and take out the powder, and then he would make like, man, don't ask me much about it, but he's some, man. He's some like crazy dude, man. Like, so I used to clean his house, go bring him water, like if he want me to lawn, his grass, I would do it. Like he had some plants, I would do anything. So he started giving me some okay money, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He has so much money, bro. Like, it was first time, man. Like I saw like established like a money like that, and like right there, he didn't care about it. But he used to. Guess what? They find me the same unanimous people that find a way to get me fired from there. That's to me. It was just like, man, what have I done?
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter where I go. It's just they saw me. I was so God. It's almost like God blessed me with, I don't know, with gift, like, you know, to deal with people, and then people, they just find a favor. You know, I just find a favor with people, like, you know, they accept me, and guess what? I say, I'm not going to keep dealing with this. I'm going to go elsewhere instead of like dealing with the situation. So afterward, even though I was working for him, they loved me so hard. I was so hard working, because the person that they try, you take this lady, she's cooking better than that, and nobody knew how to cook better than me. One time I cook a meal for this lady, and she called her neighbors. Literally, can you guys come test this? Who cooked it? John. Literally, I mean, I was,
You were that guy. You were a chef.
I was like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, y'all better know this.
Shit flimsy.
Yeah. But for real, bro, man, I everything I used to do, of course I had to do whatever it takes to impress them, to like me, even though they're already up, but
yeah,
to see that I'm hardworking, When they managed to find a way to kick me out, I mean, to cause a problem, so that the girl will go work for them. While those rumors are going on, one night the guy came and at the prison and called me and my sister. I said, hey, listen, this is what's going on. I wish there's something I can do to save John. This is where his case is, and it's not looking good. I am a very powerful dude. I do communicate with Joseph Kabila, who became president after his dad passed. By the time he was the chief commander,
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only person that he used to deal with, because he's a mercenary. He's the one who brought it, so he communicated with him. He said, I have a way to do it. Sometimes, man, it's just like, the only thing I can just believe what he told us. How did he find out about my case? You see what I'm saying? He's the one who came and told us, to say, listen, his case is not just like a case. It's way out there. They're coming for him. The only way I can help him, is to show some way of relationship that I have with y'all. Is to have her sister. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way he can plead and go there, plead for me. Somehow to make the case disappear, or what, God knows what. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because how he explained it, bro, I didn't know how much time I had.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And this who told him? It was the same person who loved me, the one that I said, hire me, the guy, because he's way out there. He said, man, I don't know what this kid did. This is what happened. So he disclosed the information to him. Because they loved me, I used to work for them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They knew who I was. They knew how hard I worked. They knew everything that I used to do for them. So they were talking, and then he disclosed the information. He said, this kid, I don't see, how can this kid, like, this case like that? And that's when he came and asked about that. Mm-hmm. That's the only way. That's the only route out. Sometimes I just say, man, if he wanted if you wanted to help me, regardless, I mean, wouldn't you had done it?
Right.
But at the same time, it's just like putting him. I don't even like to put myself in his position. He probably had everything.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. I mean, this dude can get whatever he wants to get. You know what I mean? Money was not a big issue, not at all. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of females. You go in the city. You know, I mean, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But why do you come to tell us this and to reveal this? I mean, disclose this information to us. Like, first of all, how did you know? I mean, this is getting worse.
Yeah.
If this is moving from like rumors from people that were waiting to get water from, and now it's the top people that's talking about it. This is not simple easy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it was like you civilian and talking about it, at least you can be like, man, you guys are crazy, you know. I didn't say none, but it's the cases like the brigade and the office, the high top office, and the officers, you know, and the high rank people are talking about it, and this is the people that even like work for them. They're talking about it, and now this dude, a mercenary, coming to tell me all this, like this is not looking good, bro.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
Oh, so after he gave you guys those decisions, and you guys ended up making a decision to give Amy to him. What then?
Bro, after that, it was out of my hand. I honestly was out of my hand. The person that the high rank, the guy, because they love him, he was so like didn't want anything to happen. And to me, it's just like, bro, come on, man. Y'all big people, man. And if this guy offered me to stay in his house to avoid me going, maybe something might happen. I stayed in his house at least like 3 weeks, bro. Why not? They gave me a bed. That's something like a real bed. Compared to y'all, you know, like on the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what would you give me? Like, you show me this much love. You're trying to protect me. Like, if it was not real, there's no who does that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, until today, that whole scenario has not made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
It goes from somebody I said to the you know, until today I have not fathomed like what transpired. I can't. Literally, I can't, man. I can't until today.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I mean, like, this Amy and I situation, man. Like, I do talk about it. Like, I don't talk about it like to people, but she's just like very sensitive. She's my hero. You know what I'm saying? Like, she saved my life. You know, and even though I can't say that he's in the category of her husband, because they weren't married, and it's not like Amy loved him, but for the sake of that situation, you know, mom's, you know, spoke to Amy, and the main, I honestly, like, I was like, man, I'm tired of this. Let me die. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to because it's just like, we don't know how long this is gonna go, and until when this is gonna stop being hunted. What's it gonna be next?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's just like, to me, it's just like, damn, man. It's just like I hit the wall. Like, it's a dead end for me. It's, you know, it's not surreal. You know, I mean, everything's just like, it is what it is. For me, I felt like this is it. You know, like, But Amy gave me a second chance.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she did. Honestly, I mean, was I happy? Imagine though. Imagine, bro. Like the same person who's living with your sister. You working next door. I can't even work for my sister and him. Because the same people that still like hunting. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And yet I'm working the next door. And it's like the whole situation, like I'm seeing my sister went like from like, and then she got pregnant, like how she was, like imagine like being with someone that you don't love.
Would you be able to confirm? I'm not even gonna say
You know?
confirm because Amy told us herself the kind of environment that the guy did, all the abuse, all the things that he. Were you able to? Did you ever hear any of that? Did you ever see any of that? Were you even? Because you were just, you couldn't.
All I know that I saw, Amy was not different. Was not the same.
After that.
Was not the same. Like Amy was a joyful person.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Do you know until today we never talk about that situation, me and Amy? I just don't know where to start. How? You see what I'm saying?
Maybe that could be another podcast that I do it to both of you guys.
Nah, man. I'm not ready for that, man. She knows I love her, and we talk. You know, we very close. I guess she knows that I know, and I have told her a little bit how appreciative I am of her act, even though. Do you know that she never told me, you know, what she experienced?
You've never watched the video?
I can't. I never. I literally can't.
You should.
I don't have the strength to watch that video because
you're gonna feel like you were the cause of the situation.
I am the cause.
No,
it's not like I feel. I am the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's level to it, or people who instigate the situation.
Right.
But it all came about John, saving John.
It's about how does John ever heal from that if he never actually tackles it out?
I'm not trying to heal. It's not like that I want to get healed from it. I think it's kind of mixed of feelings. It's not that I don't want it. I know what she did. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, I saw how she went from like, you know, very like happy person
mm-hmm.
to now like a very kind of like closed person, like not very happy. You know what I'm saying? Like she's there, you know, like, but she can't tell you. She can't tell you like I'm going through this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, our family's terrible at that.
No. I don't think it's that family. It's just like.
John, do you know how much trauma that our family has experienced that we don't ever express?
Well, there's certain trauma. There's certain trauma like. Okay, imagine like you in this situation because of me, to save me. Imagine you tell me that you get abused, you know, at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's worse.
Right.
I think God bless her heart that she didn't tell me at that moment, I don't know what I would have done to myself. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
At least I knew the idea behind it. I knew what happened. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she took that bullet for me, or that she went in that situation because of me. You see what I'm saying? That was enough for me to live in agony, like in distress, like see every day. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But for me to hear it now on top of that this is happening, it's, you know, I heard that you interviewed her and she disclosed, you know, like those kind of moments. I mean, I watch a lot of your podcasts, man. Like, nah, this one. This one, I have not yet found the strength. I eventually I will.
Right.
Eventually I will, but I don't know.
It's her and Luke.
Yeah, see, me and Luke. Look, man. I mean, kids are growing differently these days. Like, you know, I do anything for Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally. You see what I'm saying? How you kids, you know, are growing like apart from your family members per se. Like you live in individual life, you know. You're dealing with certain things, but you just locked in. It remains in you without telling the loved ones. You know, like, you know what I mean? That I don't approve that kind of life. You know how people are changing.
No, but you're doing with this Amy situation. You're doing that exact same thing.
I'm not doing it. Me and Amy, we talked about. We never like.
Yeah, not like this. You can't even watch the videos. You can't really.
Listen, there's a different. There's differences. There's difference about. You putting somebody in a situation versus you putting yourself in a situation.
I wouldn't.
Hold the time. Even though I know some situation that you're talking about, it was instigated by some other people too, to carry on for the person to be like, kind of like locked in, like don't want to like disclose this information. But there's some situation like we do put ourselves in. You see what I'm saying? we could have, trust me, if I had anything to deal with that situation, like I had a choice. Said I had a choice to run from the camp.
Mm-hmm.
I literally had to like. I'm not saying like I'm talking about 99%. I could have done it. I literally could have done it.
Yeah, okay, but okay. So let me put it from this. Let me see if I can state it like this. Because you're talking about the whole getting away from the family and not being able to share certain things. So imagine someone doing what you're talking about for you, right? Mm-hmm. And then you come into that person and complaining about how your life is or whatever it is, right? How fair to us? We are. I'll make it more clear. Our family is built on being strong, right? Because we've had to be strong for so long. Every single person has always had to hold their own. We're not allowed to, from a young age, we're not allowed to express our emotions because emotions show weakness, right? Like, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was raised in the household, and even till this day, expressing emotions is difficult because I am supposed to be strong, right? Because the things that we faced back then were so much harder than they are now. And so if you grow up in that environment for all your life, how do you guys expect for the younger generation to somehow all of a sudden be open and willing to be able to share and express to you guys when it's almost like, oh, you guys don't understand how it was back then and what we had to go through, right? And so we've had to just kind of push it, let all those our own emotions, our own feelings build up and just keep pushing them back down. And I don't understand what is expected from us.
For me, Seth, you know, you're asking a good question that I probably don't have an answer to it. By speaking for myself, I don't, unless if I don't remember. You see what I'm saying? But for things that I at least do remember or know, I never felt like I can hide the information from you or Moses or anything. Even right now, the only thing that I feel like it can give me a joy, you see what I'm saying? And that I think that I felt you guys somehow when we came to this country. I guess I continue to be the father figure until here. To a point where I forgot to be just myself as just like another teenager. Mm-hmm. That also needs to grow. That I need also all these ambitions or do whatever he wants to do. Also things like any teenager will go through and experience whatever. But for me to skip that and just remain it like locked in as a father figure to y'all, just because I don't want my mom I think it also I wanted to kind of like to loosen myself a little bit, and then at one time my mom, I was coming from school, I believe. My mom was so depressed. She passed out. She passed out, like literally like pass out. Like she was irresponsive. We called 911. The ambulance came. They came. They trying to like talk to her, like do something. Like you know what I'm saying? Literally, like she was gone, man. Like we were crying, like, and they doing everything. Mm-hmm. And miraculously, my mom, was able to respond, like, and they rushed her to the hospital. And later on, they say, she was depressed, things like that nature, At that moment, I remember I had registered, to go to the military because I always wanted it. Like, I grew up like wanted to be in the military or registered to the Air Force. And that time they started calling me, to go, to do more paperwork, and so that way I can join, And when I thought about it, I said, no, I can't do it. Can't do it. It's gonna kill my mom. It literally gonna kill my mom. You can't survive all that and then go back to it. And it would have killed my mom. So I stopped. At that point, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to do as much as I could to set kind of example. Because I knew if things that I don't do, I'm not gonna do it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was locked in, at least in that. So things that I should do, I didn't do. Even though I still became who who y'all are. But
thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
I truly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I thank you for being able to express yourself and share all the life details, man. So again, it could have been a 10-hour podcast easily. We only found a way to do it for 2.5 hours. But
that's a long time.
That's
man.
a very long
I didn't know
time.
that I can talk that much.
Oh no, you can talk.
You're
your mother's child. You're your mother's child.
You got that right, man.
But
I appreciate it for having me, though.
Of course, man.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up episode 4 of Following Faith Meal in the Conversation. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, God loves you. I love you. God bless and stay safe. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Peace.